Hey guys, this episode has adult content and adult themes. If you have little ears around, wait till they're gone. Thanks. What are we going after today?
Just a smorgasbord of fun.
Smorgasbord.
What is that? Is a smorgasbord?
I think it's smorgasbord.
Board, not smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord?
I don't know how to Google it.
I don't know either.
Huh. I already have Google open. Tell me what to type.
Smorgasbord.
That's what I mean. Like, you say, how do you pronounce smorgas?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Do you pronounce?
I don't even know how to. Is it schmore? Is it SHMORE or SHM?
It's right there. I got it.
Okay, what does it say?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgas?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgas?
Smorgasbord.
Okay,
So
we were way off.
Well, it's board.
Smorgas, so it's not schmorgas.
Yeah, so that was the
Okay.
part we had wrong.
I need to pull my keyboard out so that I can be more easily accessible to Google.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't even know how there is such a what was it?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord of things that it's like I don't even know how to jump into it. Because once again, everyone, no one is asking us questions.
Welcome to my life.
So I'm having to just come up with these ideas out of nowhere.
Google's open for business.
Well, I don't think we need Google right
Maybe
now.
we should Google why people don't send us questions.
It doesn't have to be questions. Tell us a funny story. Let's find a topic to talk
whatever.
about. Something. Because I'm going to run dry real fast. Because Charles isn't giving me anything either. He just wants me to force feed the information. This first segment is going to be all about, and maybe you can come up with something. Maybe something will pop into your brain here. I want to discuss. I was listening to another podcast earlier this week. I still never found it. I was going to find the clip.
What's it called?
It's called Ear Biscuits
Oh.
by Rhett and Link.
Oh.
You know, the other loves
I
of my
do.
life.
Your boyfriends?
That's creepy because they're 45-year-old men.
Doesn't matter. You're 30.
No, not
Ish.
yet. But they somehow got into this really strange topic. And so, okay, let me finish my thought. I don't think I finished what I was saying. This first part is going to be basically like asking things that you hear about or that you wonder about the other gender. I almost said the other species.
The other sex.
Like weird things that, like, you know what I mean? Like that is not known to the others because it's not talked about.
The genders, the same gender talks about amongst themselves, but
Or that's just a known fact. I
kind of
don't
like girls don't poop, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Or girls don't fart.
sure.
I don't think there's anything that guys.
There this first one is gonna. This might blow your mind
What?
because I grew up with 3 older brothers. I feel like
It's probably not gonna blow my mind because I'm a guy.
I don't know. That's what I want to know. But basically, I grew up with 3 older brothers, so there's like not much about the males that surprises
The
me.
males.
I feel like I knew a lot about guys when I was very young, way more than I probably should have. So, Rhett and Link, I don't remember what they originally were talking about, but somehow they got on the topic of peeing. and what it's like.
Was this that YouTube video that you were watching the other day when I came in and they were like seeing who could pee the longest?
No, but that is kind of weird that they did that. No, this is on the podcast.
Because I could smoke those guys.
No, so, but I listened to this before that, and then that episode came up the next day. So I was kind of like, this is funny.
The 3-minute pee is chump change.
I don't need it. Anyways, so, like I said, it's whenever I try to retell something that I've heard that is like really funny, it never goes well. It's not funny. So I'm not going to try to like make this funny. I'm basically just going to like say the fact.
Okay.
Do you know, I wish I could remember exactly what Rhett called it in the episode. Do you know about, or do you use a quote unquote button at the end so you don't dribble?
The shake?
No.
Then no, because I usually just grab the end of it and like yank it out.
That's what Link was talking about. He says, this is his wording, not mine. He milks it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he also said he did know about what Rhett was talking about this button. I can't remember what he called it. See if you can get on YouTube, because they put their podcast on YouTube, and just YouTube search ear biscuits. I should probably do it.
Where were we?
I found it.
Okay, what is it?
So I don't know what this audio is. We had to take a quick potty break, so I don't know where we were at, but we were discussing. I sent out the question, the button, and you didn't know what I was talking about. Well, while we were doing the potty break, I found the clip. So I hope, can we play it? Okay, you ready?
Talk about crimping the vein.
I feel like, I feel like I gotta.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like I gotta hit the Evac button. You know the Evac button. You know where it is, and you feel like you gotta hit it just to make sure.
You talking?
And this is not an old man thing. I've been doing this since I was a toddler.
The taint. The taint.
You gotta hit the taint. You gotta press the taint. Make sure that it's all
taint
out.
Button.
Yeah. And Evac button is what I'm calling it.
What?
And you can't get to
The way
you can't
talk
get
about
to
it,
the taint.
Anyone who doesn't know about this, what some people who don't know about it are picturing right now is you're reaching down there and like you're pressing a button, and all of a sudden there's like a gush.
Well, sometimes there's something and sometimes there's not. That's why you do it. It's a safety. It's a backup.
Yeah, it's a
and it's especially important when you've got the tallywhacker out of the pants and you're about to go on national television and you don't want to have a pee spot. So, because sometimes as you're pulling it back in,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If you haven't hit the evac button, it might decide to evac on
Hold
its own.
on.
I told you I was gonna blow your mind.
What? This is a thing?
They go on and talk about this for, I'm not kidding, like 15 minutes.
Okay, so first of all, why anybody... Do we really want to get into this?
Yes. This is things that...
Why any man... First of all, how do you even know? I am, my mind is blown right now. I don't even, just give me a second.
So let me give you a little back.
Hold on, I need to keep, I got a thought here, but I need to think about the right way to word this so I don't. So, you're standing there because you're a guy taking a leak.
Not if you're Link. Link sits to pee.
Anyway, you're standing there taking a leak, minding your own business, and you get done, and you either wring it out, like like you said, milking it. You wring it out a couple of times, and then you grab it in the middle and you give it a couple of shakes, and you're done. Who in their right mind ever thought, I'm going to take my hand, reach in between my legs, underneath my ball sack, and give it a little squeeze.
You don't squeeze it.
Push the button.
I
guarantee you there's not a damn button under there.
Well, they say it's not a button.
Who thought that one up?
I don't know, but they both knew what they were talking about when they mentioned it.
Those guys are freaking weird.
Somehow we need to figure out who's the weird one.
I'm not trying it because that's weird.
Why?
I'm not going to.
What if it was like life-changing? There has been plenty of times you've had a tinkle spot.
I will keep shaking my wiener.
Well,
clearly
that's not effective all the time.
Who gives a
Well, so what
I just took a piss. Who cares?
They're talking about...
You just saw me walk out of the bathroom. It's usually dried up by the time you get anywhere to see anybody. So if you see a tinkle spot on my pants as I'm walking out of the bathroom, what the hell do you think I was in there doing anyway?
I'm just saying. Basically, I'm encouraging you. I've now told you, this is, I think, the third time. You need to listen to their last couple episodes. The episode, if everyone is wondering, this one is Things We Just Can't Live Without. At about 15 minutes in is when this discussion takes place. And like I said, it's literally like 15 or 20 minutes long. And it is hilarious. I was out loud, literally just giggling. It is so funny. Like, that's just the very beginning. It gets hilarious.
I'm still... Who figured this out?
Like he said, they go on and say, they're like, if you don't know what this is, like, you're living under a rock. They say multiple times, everybody, all guys do this.
No. Maybe I am weird. Maybe I'm the weird one that just has never thought, hey, reach under my ball sack.
Well, so that's what I was
tap.
saying, though, is it was like, I wondered if this was something that all guys, like, talked about and knew. And
Guys don't ever go, so, hey, bud, you ever heard about the button?
the evac button.
The evac button? Nope. No. Oh, bro, I got to tell you about this evac button.
Oh.
Guys don't do that. Guys
Well,
don't.
okay, guys don't, but, like, when you're 9-year-olds, you don't.
Never had one of my 9-year-old buddies. Hey, bro, you using the evac button?
You got
You using the evac button,
you
Charles?
got a brother that's the same age. You guys didn't converse.
Nope. It was usually, hey, got to go take a leak. Sounds good, bud. See you in a couple.
Well, whatever. Okay, well, we can move on. How are we going to decide, though? Who knows?
Who knows what?
Who knows about it? Who's the weird ones? Because now I just...
I'm not. I tell you right now.
was still not answered.
I'm not asking anybody if they use the evac button.
Why?
I guess if anybody listens to this, you guys can go into that sweet little Google document on the Instagram page, and you can just say whether you use the evac button. Here's a question. Is there an evac button for women?
No, you just have to, like, rock back and forth or, like, do some Kegels.
I don't know what that is either.
But also, we use toilet paper. So, that's it.
Fair point.
But yeah, to make sure your bladder's fully empty. Because there are some women that suffer from, like, just bladder leakage. And so they'll tell you to do that to, like, make sure your bladder's fully empty, is to, like, you kind of rock back and forth or...
This is a really weird episode.
Yeah. They're all going to be weird. I don't know why every episode we record saying, like, this is weird. Why are we talking about this? This is the whole point of the show. What?
I just sound like such a caveman. Because I'm like, Sitting over here, I'm trying to contribute something to this podcast. I got nothing.
There's nothing you've wondered about women?
No.
But you are such a caveman. Like, this is what I mean. Like, this is why I wanted to do it, too, is because I started talking about something about my period.
Yeah, this
something. You're like, "No,
podcast is going to make men sound so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I know there's intelligent life out there in the male sex, but holy... I am not a good representation.
Charles doesn't want to talk about anything. If I want to, what was it? What was I talking? It was something with my period or ovulating or that's what it was. I was talking about ovulating and the different fluids and you're like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want.
I'm like, what? Are you 12?
Usually that kind of stuff just pops into my mind when I'm getting down and dirty.
It wasn't anything like that.
And then I think about that and I'm like, whoop, just limp as a noodle.
I was not trying to be sexy or anything.
I'm saying that will pop into my head when we're being sexy.
Oh.
And then I start thinking about that. And
well, that should be exciting.
No.
Because that's the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Anyway.
Maybe Charles one day will have a question about women.
Yeah.
On to the next subject, since you don't have anything else to talk about women. So, there's this guy that I follow on Instagram. And every Sunday, he does... What does he call it? You tell like a confessional thing every Sunday. He does like one of the...
Is he a priest?
No. You know, what are these things? Like the question box things?
Oh, yeah.
He puts it up and you can like, it's basically like this, basically like our podcast here. And so everyone gets on there and like tells normally it's like he has you tell your like a secret and stuff. But this last Sunday, he put out that he wanted you to put in like your most embarrassing moment. And I just wanted to read, I had to screenshot this one because, okay, this is just what the response in the thing says. And I just want to know what your initial thought is. It says, got the big D at school. Didn't get the toilet up in time. What a mess. I'm a teacher.
The diarrhea.
Okay, like obviously that's what he meant. But why would you say, I guess maybe that's just an us thing. Because he said, I got the big D at school.
Yeah, that means to me you got the big duck.
Yeah, because that's what we always say.
Yeah.
The big D. And so
Give
he's
her
like,
the D.
So think about if it was that case. Got the big D at school. Didn't get the toilet up in time. What a mess. I'm a teacher. So I was, this was one that someone like messaged him because it was too long. Get a load of this embarrassing story.
Okay.
My wife and I just finished having sex. I wanted a snack, and this was about 10:30 at night. Thought all my kids were either asleep or out for the evening. As I walked into the kitchen, completely naked, there was my 17-year-old son, one of his friends, and 4 girls standing there.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
They all turned to look at me. I dropped to the ground and crawled away and ran to my room as fast as I could.
Oh my gosh. Do you think anybody saw him?
He says, I don't think those girls ever came back.
Did they see? I guess it doesn't explain.
No, it doesn't.
Could
That's all you get.
Imagine?
Well, there is a similar story that pops into my head.
Yeah. Yeah, but my dad didn't see anything.
No. I don't even
Pretty sure
he knows.
No, he knows because I talked to him about it.
You have?
Yeah.
Like he knows what, like the whole thing?
Well, I just said we were talking about sex or something when I was a teenager, not a teenager, but before I was married. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, so there was that one day that you came home from work early And I was like, me and Shay were home. And we were upstairs and we heard the door open and we're both butt-ass naked. And I'm like, Shay grabbed her clothes and ran into the bathroom. And I hurried.
Speed crawled.
Yeah, like crab walked to the bathroom, under the pony wall. And I hurried up and threw my gym shorts on and a t-shirt, and then you came upstairs, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you knew because you were just like you're like, hey, and turned around and left.
I think he just like stayed down in the kitchen, and like you guys were kind of like talking, and then he just went down and went to bed.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he knew. He might have forgot about it by now. Like he probably forgot about it.
Oh, so it was like a while ago.
So like he doesn't remember. No, I'm saying when I talked to him, he had probably forgotten about it. Like he told me that he didn't really. He's like, I don't remember that.
Mm.
But like I know the look in his eyes, and when I looked at him, he was like, something's going on. But I'm too tired to deal with it, so I'm gonna go down and go to bed because he was working like the. Well, it was kind of like the shift he works now. He was probably leaving to go to work at midnight or 1 because he didn't get home till like what? It was 2:00 in the afternoon.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was in the afternoon.
I have never been so embarrassed in my life.
Yeah.
I've probably been more embarrassed in my life, but that because I mean it wasn't like like you said, it wasn't like he seen me naked or anything, but like.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my gosh. Because luckily your parents had that type of door where it had like the keypad lock. So we heard like the beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep, beep. And I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. What a time. Anyways, there was a lot of those on there, but those are the only ones that I saved. I have some more mellow things. There's this girl named Jordan Shrinks. That's her Instagram handle thing. And quite frequently she'll do like a would you rather scenarios. Okay, so are you ready for some
Would you rathers?
Intense would you rathers?
Yep.
Okay. Would you rather A, live where you currently live for the rest of your life, the exact house, apartment, or whatever, or only be able to drink water for the rest of your life? No juice, soda, alcohol, anything. Because
I gotta think about this.
This is a good one for Charles because Charles is a Diet Coke addict
and beer.
No, you're not an addict anymore.
Yeah. So.
And you also hate where we live.
This would there would have to be.
There's no adjustments.
There would have to be some clarification.
What?
Like, either you can keep drinking, so you drink water.
Only be able to drink water
okay,
for
but
the rest of
I'm
your
saying
life.
I would have to be to make that decision. I would have to be given something.
What? This you were bargaining. That's not the point of this.
No, so I'm saying like you either okay, so we're gonna make something up. You either get your dream home or you stay where you're at and only drink water.
This isn't a two-parter. That is the question. You either
okay. I would rather stay where I'm at because I'm not gonna just throw it to the wind.
So you would rather stay here so you could keep drinking Diet Coke and beer than only drink water and be able to move out of this house.
Yeah, but the thing is where are we gonna move?
To your dream home.
Okay, I'd rather move into my dream home.
So you're only drinking water for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2. Would you...
If there's any rich philanthropists out there that want to make that bet, let's do it.
Would you rather never be able to say or pronounce the letter S in any context, or never be able to run again ever, even if you needed to run for your life.
I would rather not be able to pronounce S because
So you'd be calling me Haley.
Thaley.
Why would... No, that's not what that says. That just says never be able to say or pronounce the letter S.
Yeah, S, F.
There's no th in an S.
I would just switch the S for a TH.
You would just take the A. You can't pick and choose how these work.
They have to be better at explaining because I will find a loophole.
You're being too Asperger.
No,
about
I'm not.
It. Yes, because it just simply
You know
says,
what? The world needs people like me, okay? to outsmart these super smart people.
one that never came
These
to
super smart people.
be. Uber smart people.
Uber smart.
No,
I'm going with
you
the
went,
TH.
That still makes that sound. It says
No,
that you
it
can't
doesn't.
pronounce it
S
or say the letter S in any context.
Essence. Ethenth.
Everyone,
I just have a
this-
speech impediment now.
This is what I deal with every day of my life. Okay.
You love it. You know what? If it's bugging you that bad, I'm not running. I don't run anyway. I don't ever run.
We've moved on,
I'm not running.
even for your life.
Nope.
Okay.
I'd rather die.
Great.
Just
Sounds
so I
good.
can say S. I need to be able to pronounce my name.
Well, what about my name?
Charles Thaley. I just start calling you babe. Like I do anyway.
Okay. So here's some questions. So the context is married for 5 years with no kids, never having kids. Husband works full time and I do school full time. Does anyone intentionally live separately from their spouse and feel like it's beneficial? I love my husband and don't want to jeopardize our relationship in any way, but I just want our relationship to be about wanting to spend time together, not having to spend time together, because we live under the same roof. I get so frustrated with being the one that has to get groceries, clean, pay bills, cook meals, and laundry, on top of my own personal responsibilities, that I just feel like it would be easier to live on my own and see my husband when I want to see him, and he can worry about his own household upkeep. Is that nuts?
Yeah.
Okay, I screenshotted this for a very specific reason. Essentially, this is describing our situation once upon a time.
Yeah, and it wasn't any fun. So we fixed it.
But, again, this is not to throw anyone under the bus or anything. But you didn't even seem like you noticed till I brought it up.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes with men.
So you're like, it wasn't any fun, so we fixed it. But I'm like, would you have ever even noticed if I wouldn't have ever said anything?
I don't know. This is where the whole caveman thing comes back in.
No.
Yeah. So when our relationship was like that, you weren't all that fun to be around either.
So, but the context of it for us was we were basically living in separate households because you were working nights. That's what she said? No, she just says husband works full time and I do school full time. So I was a stay-at-home mom as I am now, and you were working nights. So we slept in, how long did we sleep in separate rooms?
We moved in here in 2017, in August of 2017, and I moved to Days a year later.
Well, and we did before when we lived in
But we still
other
lived
house.
in the same. Yeah.
You slept downstairs and I slept in our room. And then when we moved in with my parents, then we like went back to being in one bed. But you were gone all the time because then you switched to like being over the road.
Yeah.
and-
So,
So there was a period of time for probably what?
okay,
like
so it was
3 years?
Yeah, it was so from 2015, 3 years, 2015 to 2018.
There was periodic times where we were
Because
in
when
the same bed.
when
but-
when I lost my job and we moved in with your parents, I wasn't home.
Yeah. But for I mean, there was
I was
parts that
gone.
you were. So yeah, so there was only a period. So in all of that,
So
there
for
was
3
like a
yeah,
3-month period.
There was a
where we-
1-month period where I was home.
Because when you went back
To Peck.
hauling oil, you
Was on the
We're
day
on
shift for
nights.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I went to nights.
and so then, so yeah, so we there was a 2-year period that
3 years.
3 years, man. Oh, like it's so weird to think about that. Like that was just so normal because now you've been on days for what, another 3 years?
Yeah, but I was an asshole and we didn't want anything to do with each other until about
Well, but
a
I'm not
year
just
ago.
talking about, I'm just talking about the sleeping thing. Like that we just slept. You had, like, we moved in this house. Like we
Yeah, I
got
had
you
my
your own room.
bedroom, Yeah.
Like you had a bed in
But
there.
that
and-
was that was because of you. Like
well, yeah, because
I didn't want to sleep in a different bedroom. I just wanted damn curtains on my windows.
Well, it had a lot to do
and
with
you
it
didn't
too.
want
It
to put
was like,
blackout curtains in our bedroom.
well, no, it was more than that. It was more than just the current thing. It was like that was when I was in such a deep depression that I was like, I wanted to be able to. It's like really hard when you're trying to sleep, and if you were to sleep in our room, like if I need to take a shower,
I was only
or-
sleeping for like 5 hours.
we're not like discussing logistics of it. We're just talking about what it was. What I'm saying is it's just like I wanted to be able to feel like I could go into my room, take a shower, change my clothes if I needed to, do whatever. But it was like I couldn't, if you were in there, I couldn't go in there. And I didn't want to be, because at that time I didn't have an office or was doing any of my stuff. So it was like I could just sit in the downstairs and like watch TV. You know what I mean? So it was like I just felt like I wanted to be able to feel like I could not disturb
Which was
you.
weird
and, like,
because we didn't even have a TV in our bedroom until like 6 months ago.
I know. Sometimes I wish we never would have.
What the hell were you doing in our bedroom?
I just told you.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is I relate to this situation.
Yeah, I think probably the best thing to do is either fix it or get a divorce.
So I guess my thoughts on it is because she says, does anyone intentionally live separately from their spouse and feel like it's beneficial? To the marriage, no.
So, first of all, ours wasn't intentional.
No.
Like
I
ours
mean, it
was
was, but we had
circumstantial.
no other choice.
Yeah, ours was circumstantial.
So what my advice to this would be is you need to figure out how, because she says, I just want our relationship to be about wanting to spend time together, not having to spend time together because we live under the same roof.
That's the typical women response.
Well, no. So let me do my thoughts of what I'm
Okay.
thinking here. So what I'm saying is it's like, if you're feeling this way, you either need to figure it out and learn how to want to be in the same room, bed, house as each other. Or if you feel like this, you probably shouldn't continue to be together. Because why would you?
That's what I just said.
Well, I know, but then you throw in your little things about, oh, typical woman response.
Well, it is like the age-old joke is like the wife getting mad at the husband for not doing the dishes. And he's like, "All right, fine, I'll do the dishes." And she's like, "I don't care if you do the dishes. I just want you to want to do the dishes." Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like
but that's not
comes-
that's not what she's saying.
the
though.
caveman thing is becoming a theme here. We're just stupid cavemen. If it wasn't for you women,
But she's saying that she feels the same way, that she doesn't want to spend time with him. It feels like they're having to spend time.
yeah,
too.
then
so it's
get a divorce.
it's the same thing. So it's like, yeah,
I don't understand the concept of falling out of love with your spouse. I can't wrap my mind around it because
you have never that is a hypocritical statement.
no, it's not. I've never not loved you for 1 minute. I might have disliked you,
You have said to my face on multiple
but I've never
occasions
not loved you.
that can't think of the exact wording, but basically,
You can't
like,
because I've never said anything that contradicts what I just
yes,
said.
yes. There's been several times where you said basically like I would rather just stay here and hate you than like get a divorce because
No, I
that
think I
goes back.
said I'd rather stay here and be miserable.
Okay, so
I'll be miserable without you, so I might as well stay here and be miserable.
that was not the
with you.
context that you said, if that's the way you meant it. You were just like, I would rather be miserable than to leave. Which I've never been one that agrees with that either.
Right now, I don't understand it.
Well,
Because you got married for a reason. You started a family together for a reason. You got all this time invested together. Just be nice. And just think of your spouse first. And it's all Mai Tais and Yahtzee. Just don't be a prick. I know that's air quotes, hypocritical for me to say, but the way that my brain works right now is just don't be a prick. You love your spouse, you got married and you started a family. Just keep it going. If you've wandered off a little bit, wander back.
so here's my question then to say with that. The other thing that you talk about all the time and talking about yourself is you always bring up the point of people change. People are always changing, and you know, the person that you married, by the time at the end, they're a completely different person. So
Okay.
what if that's not the case?
So a lot of times people say that they've fallen out of love with their spouse because they need to find something new and exciting. If what I say is true and people are always changing, you shouldn't need to go find anything new and exciting because it's always changing. I can
That
understand.
didn't answer the question.
I can kind of see the point of you don't like the person that your spouse is becoming if they're just veering way off, going a completely separate direction. But like being married is a great adventure and journey. And I wouldn't want to keep going on, the same on a journey that's very fluid and changing with somebody new. I'd want to go on it with somebody who knows me and that has my back. And, if we've been through some shit and that shit comes up down the road later, we already know how to handle it.
Yeah.
In every relationship, there's going to be low points.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I feel bad for both of them, I guess.
I do too. It's a crappy situation if you're ever, but like that's the thing too, I guess, is like I think people hear just like what you said, like there's gonna be highs and lows in marriages. Like people go in expecting that, and just I think you hear it but you don't take it seriously. Kind of the same thing is, people constantly tell you when you're getting married, like marriage is so much work. It's so hard. Like you have to try so hard. And when you're first getting married, at least I think if you're getting at a youngish age, when you're 20s and stuff, you're just like, oh yeah, sure. Like, oh yeah, like it's going to be hard, but no big deal and stuff. Like until you get married, like you don't realize it. So where was I going with this?
Marriage
point?
can be easy for some people.
Oh, I know what I was saying. Hold on. I got to finish my thought.
Okay.
So I don't forget it again. Oh no. So say okay, no. The highs and lows part. So it's like, yes, you always hear that there'll be highs and lows, but for a lot of people, I don't think they realize like how low the lows are going to be. So people easily, when they hit that really, really low point, that's when they're just like, I'm not doing this. Like, we're going to get a divorce because this sucks. I don't want to do this. You're not who I thought you were, blah, blah. But I'm not perpetuating that you stay in something that's really toxic and negative. Like if it's, something really bad, abusive or anything like that, like stand up for yourself, do what's right. But if it's growing pains, really painful growing pains, like, you should still fight for it. Like you said, like, if you love that person, really try and see if it's supposed to be worked out or not.
So the best way that I can kind of sum up how our marriage is basically what happened today. So I went to bed last night and I was pissed. Not at Shay. I was pissed off at what the projects that I have going on and just seemed like I was a failure and whatever. So I went to bed feeling like that, and I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And it had nothing to do with Shaylee. But you were in my way. You were in the line of fire all day today. And you were catching some crap.
Yep.
And all she's trying to do is help me. That's all you were trying to do all day, was just help me. And I didn't want your help, and I just wanted to be left alone. And I wanted to sit down here in the basement and hermit. And the only way to get out of that is for you to decide that you're going to get out of it. I had to make the decision down here that I'd had enough and I needed to change. So I just went upstairs and grabbed my family and I said, we're going to the store. And what did I say?
No, you said
We're going to get excited.
No, you
We're
were
going to
like,
be over the top.
you walked into the bedroom and he said, put your clothes on, which I wasn't naked, but Charles doesn't approve of me leaving the house in loungewear.
Yeah, I think if you're going to go out in public, you need to be dressed.
And so he's like, put your clothes on. We're going to the store. I said, for what? Candy.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the candy that was going to make me happy. I was just trying to change what I had going on in my head.
Yeah.
So the only advice I can give is, if you're going through some crap, if it's personal or with your spouse, is you have to decide to change. You have to decide to turn it around. And you have to get excited.
Yeah.
Because if I get excited, I'm not pissed off anymore.
Yeah.
If I get excited about something.
Yeah.
And it's turned out a pretty good night.
So what did you mean? You said the way to sum up our marriage is
That's how our marriage has been. It's usually one of us being down in the dumps until the person down in the dumps decides to change.
yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't matter how much somebody tries to help you. If you're not willing to help yourself and change, then it's just not going to happen.
So the other hard part, and I don't know how to actually teach this or whatever you want to call it, explain this part, is, again, it's like, because I don't know if I would actually want to have this for other people, but the other big part of it that I think for you and I both has been when something like that happens, the other person that's not down in the dumps or, going through whatever has to lower their expectations of everything.
Yes.
But I'm a huge believer in, I've been working with a lady who has said this to me many times. I've just lowered my expectations. I have to lower my expectations for everything. And I agree with it. This is where I say it's hard, and I don't know if I really want to teach that principle to people, because it's almost like you have to know the limit of it. Because I would never tell somebody to just lower all your expectations where then none of your expectations and hopes for your marriage are ever met. And you're just like, well, I'm just going to take the L for this one and just do whatever this person wants, and then you're just unhappy. So I guess I would say lower your expectation, but it has to have like a time requirement. Like, don't lower your expectations where you have no expectations.
Well, yeah, there has to be a point to where you say, this is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
And if you go below that, then we're done.
Yeah. Because that's been basically our conversation many times in the marriage. You know, when
Well, both of us have
That's-
lowered
well,
expectations
that's what I'm
a
saying.
lot.
That's what I'm saying. We've had it multiple times. Like, I can't tell you when we were in this situation of first moving to this house. Again, we've talked about so much stuff, but a lot of it hasn't ever made it onto the show. So I don't think we've talked about this. But like when we first, after I had our daughter and then like moving into this house, that period of time, I was severely depressed. And I don't think Charles fully understood that. I think you more so took it as just like, I don't know, like how did you read it as? Because you didn't, I know, like we've had the conversation, you didn't like register it as me being depressed.
Yeah, so when our daughter was born was the exact same time that I had my air quotes faith crisis with religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that had a huge impact on what was going on with you. And we worked through that and still working through it. But I kind of thought that was the problem.
Like you thought I was just mad at
Yeah, I
you?
just thought that you were like basically giving up on our relationship.
Because to look at it, looking back on it now, like I literally was just existing. Like I wasn't doing anything. I would get up, get our child fed and out of her bed, and we would go down. I would get out of my bed, walk down the stairs, get her all situated, turn the TV on, lay on the couch the entire day till we went to bed. And I just did that for months on end. And
Well, and the other thing is I didn't really see it because I was gone.
yeah. But my point being is so we in that time had a lot of conversations about our marriage and expectations, and you told me multiple times, you're like, I've just lowered all my expectations. Like I just don't have the expectations.
And that
anymore.
helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Because when the caveman thing, I would go to work and think that I'm slaying all these dragons because I'm out there being a big bad man and making all this money. And then I'd come home and the house is a train wreck. And I was looking at it as with my Asperger's thinking, well, I'm doing my job and you're not doing your job. And I would get really angry. And when I lowered my expectations, and I just like, man, I guess it's just not going to happen. I'm going to have a dirty, dirty ass house my whole life. And my laundry, I'm going to be doing my own laundry. And I guess Shay's just going to sit on Instagram all day long and watch Netflix. As soon as I lowered my expectations, then in my brain, that works.
Yeah.
The way that I look at the world, that works for me. As soon as I lowered my expectations and I just was like, this is how it is and it's never going to change, I was fine.
Yeah. And so then how was it now that things have changed and I'm not that way anymore? Like,
it's crazy.
So what I'm saying is like, so then are your expectations still that?
Yep. That's just how my brain works. I don't give a single crap about the house. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I love coming home and the house is clean. I love it. But it's kind of like a present every day when I get home. It's like this surprise when I get home. And I know you say, well, you never commented on how clean, what I did to our closet, how it's so clean. Caveman. I'm on a one-track mind when I get home. I see it registers in my brain and I say, ooh, this is nice. This is nice.
In your brain?
I like this. This is awesome. And then the caveman forgets to relay that back to you and tell you thanks.
Yeah.
And that you're doing a great job. So that's another thing I need to work on.
Mm-hmm. Well, that wasn't necessarily my point. I was just curious because like we talked about, like, I don't believe that those expectations should be left that way forever, because then it goes back to the point of, like I was saying, is where then it becomes you have no expectation. I think there needs to be expectations in a relationship.
Yeah, so I just told you how my brain
I know,
works.
no, you're fine. I was just relaying back to my thought to other people. Like I said, I never want to be like, don't make it so then you have no expectations in your marriage, because that's not a marriage.
Yeah.
You should expect things from your partner. You know what I mean? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So for instance, where with the roles being reversed in the example of today. So I had asked you last week to go with me to, not an appointment, but to go pick up this test that I had to go do because I still sometimes have crippling anxiety.
It's not a pregnancy test.
No,
If it is, I don't know about it.
no. I get to deal with IBS, and so I'm having lots of tests done. Anyways, I needed to go pick up a test, and I was like uncomfortable because I wasn't sure where it was. And I was like, doesn't have to be these days off, maybe like the next days off, because it wasn't like I had to do it at a certain time. They just said, come pick up the test whenever from the office. And so I asked today if we could go and do it. And he was just like, in his grumpy, basically told me to go screw
Being
off.
an asshole.
And instantly, I was just like really upset. But I could tell he was not in a space to have a conversation about anything. Like, it just would have made it worse. So I just stood up, went upstairs, and I was like, fine, I'm just going to do it by myself. I'm not even going to ask him again. I'm not going to tell him I'm upset. I lowered the expectation of the day.
Here's the other thing with us. When I do things like that and I'm an a-hole, I know I'm being an a-hole. And I just need to like try to get over it real quick. And I usually can get over it. So then what happened?
Well, okay, so then if you want to keep being honest about it, like, yeah, so then you came up and you said that you would go and do it. But you were so mad that you had to go and
I
do it.
wasn't mad.
You were driving so fast.
No, I
and
wasn't.
Yes. I could still feel the energy. And we didn't talk the whole way there.
Because I just woke up.
You had been awake for a few hours at this point.
Okay, so here's the other thing. I'm a creature of habit.
We don't need to get into all this. Basically, I was just trying to say that I lowered my expectations on the day.
And then I half-assed made up for it.
But I'm not trying to make you sound bad, or I'm
I
not
know.
trying to whatever. I'm just saying that, like, that's how it works with us in situations where I've just learned, like, I have to be able to adapt to that fast and be like, okay, whatever. He's not gonna do that or whatever.
I just wonder what everybody else is like. Because I only know what I'm like.
Yeah, I know. That's where I've in the last
If there's
year.
any people listening that have a spouse with Asperger's, I am so sorry.
Me too.
Because I know I suck so bad.
But I want to make it clear. You suck so bad in the communicating and like emotions, communicating emotions, dealing with emotions, communication in general. But in other aspects, like, you make up for it. That's the thing. So I started saying, I've just found in the last year or so, you can't judge anybody's marriage because there is no marriage that is the same as
No.
anyone else's. Like, everyone does what is right or what they feel comfortable. Everyone has to do what works for them. So yeah, there's not going to be anybody that is the same as us. Like, so just talking about like my siblings' marriages. I have 3 older siblings that are all married. Well, one's not anymore. His wife passed, but he was married for a long time. Anyways, like, looking at each of those marriages, there's so many times I'm just like, what in the world are you thinking? Everyone knows. Like, you can look at any marriage and be like, that is freaking weird. Like, there's
Yeah,
some
they probably
friends.
say the same thing about
Yes,
it too.
but that's exactly my response as soon as I say that is I say, well, I'm sure they freaking have a lot of stuff to say about mine. Because I know, like, everybody thinks what other people do is weird, or why would you put up with that?
Like the evacuation button. I'm still perplexed. Anyway.
Don't take what we say as fact. Try something out if you feel like it might be something that's useful to you.
Marriage is worth fighting for. So if you fight for it and it doesn't work, then give up. But don't just give up because you've fallen into this sedentary, stale, stagnant relationship.
Well, because that's going to happen.
Fight for it. And if you've fought for it for a while and it doesn't change, then you can, split sheets and go live separate lives. Or try out your going and living separately but still stay married. Maybe they just need to be separated for a little while.
Yeah. But
disclaimer,
again,
we are not telling anybody what to do.
No, because
don't take
I was
our
just gonna say because
take our advice with a grain of salt.
Because I'm surprised Charles is even saying that, because that was brought to the table at one point and he gave me a big fat hell no.
Because we hadn't fought for it yet.
I'm pretty sure we've been fighting for it.
We'd been fighting. We had been fighting each other for a long time, but we hadn't fought for each other. What we're doing right now is fighting for each other. Spending time together is fighting for each other.
Do you want to put that part in?
I don't give a shit.
Quickly discuss. So basically,
you guys are finding out that I'm a prick. That I'm an asshole. So
we got to the point. I got to the point. So I don't know if it's the Asperger's or it's just Charles who he is or whatever it is, but he's just had the philosophy our entire marriage that no matter what happens, under no circumstance would he ever get a divorce. Like, that's just not something that he would ever do.
There's a couple of things.
Okay, that's basically anytime it's brought up or anything, it's a no-no. And so, I came to him in November or December.
I can't remember.
Last year, a couple months ago. And basically just said, listen, this is not working for me anymore. Listed a couple of things that were really bothering me. And I said, I think that we should take the next year and do everything we possibly can to fix these things. And then we can say at the end of the year, take an evaluation. If nothing has changed, if we still feel the same way, basically a year is enough time that we could say, we fought and did everything we could. And clearly after a year, nothing's changed. So I guess it's just not meant to be. And then take our separate ways.
Yeah, so I think a lot's changed.
Well, that's what I'm saying is me coming to you and saying that, I think flipped a huge switch.
Yeah. Because
just in these in the first 3 months.
In the first 3 months, we'll just do some real talk right here. My drinking was out of control.
And that's the interesting thing when I look back on it. And we haven't really talked about it. Was when you made the decision to stop drinking, was that in conjunction with what I had brought to you?
No. The reason why I quit drinking was I was down here in the basement and I had gotten home from work. Yeah, I'd gotten home from work. And on my way home from work, I was thinking, I need to stop and buy some beer because I'm almost out. This'll tell everybody how bad my drinking was. I had 8 beers in my mini fridge down here. And I was like, I'm out of beer. I won't have enough beer for tonight. And I had 8 beers in my fridge. So I was like, oh, I'll be all right. I'll just drink 8 beers and be done. Well, the problem was I drank my 8 beers and I wasn't done. And I had that bottle of vodka. And I hate vodka. But
Charles usually, if he drank liquor, it was a very, very rare occasion.
But yeah, I had that bottle of vodka out there. So I went and I went up and I did a double vodka, and I drank that. And then I went back up. Like, I didn't even waste any time. I went straight back up after I drank that. I drank that double vodka in probably 15 minutes. And then I went straight back up and did another double vodka. And I was so drunk, like I was falling up and down the stairs because liquor hits me fast. Yeah, I went back upstairs and I was actually going outside to put my beer cans in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I looked at my garbage can. I had a separate garbage can for beer cans. That's how much I was drinking. And it was completely full from a week. Like, this is a 3.5 foot tall garbage can, like a kitchen garbage can.
Yeah.
It was completely full of beer cans from like the past 4 or 5 days. And I looked at that and I was just disgusted with myself. And it finally hit me right then that I was drinking. Like, I was drinking. And I didn't want to do that anymore. So I went and poured all my vodka. I had a full bottle of Jack Daniels that I hadn't even opened. I think I had opened it.
No,
I
it
think,
was open.
I think there was like 1 or 2 drinks out of it. Like, literally.
Like, the neck was gone, basically.
Yeah. I had a full bottle and a big bottle. Like, the biggest bottle of Jack Daniels you can buy. The liquor store. Poured it out. That vodka bottle probably, I think it was like a half gallon. Poured it out. And yeah, but yeah, as soon as I sobered up, I went like, what, 40, 50 days without drinking. And then, yeah. So as soon as I got that under control.
That flipped our marriage like 180.
Yeah. Like, I still drink now. I've had some beers today, but yeah, as soon as you stop letting shit control your life, you can start focusing on what's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was that, and then I think that just kind of like, yeah, so I don't know, like, looking back at it, do I think that would have changed if you wouldn't have quit? Like,
No.
I think it would have kept going.
Yeah.
And we would have gotten a divorce.
You weren't my first priority.
No.
When I was drinking, because I was hauling ass home to drink.
Yeah.
I wasn't hauling ass home to hang out with you.
Yeah.
I wasn't hauling ass. I mean, it's not like we got stuff going on right now, so I'm not. It's not like I'm hauling ass home to hang out with you, but I'm hauling ass home to get home to be with you.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. Even for me though, was like, when I gave my list, I had just gotten so used to the drinking at this point. Like, when it first started, you know, it really irritated me. And every time you would buy beer, like, it just had like such a hard effect on me.
Well, it still irritates you, don't lie.
Well, it does now, again, because you quit and then like bring it in. So now it's like reopen that wound.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it irritates me. But at that point, over the last year, like, it was just like, whatever, dude, just whatever.
Yeah.
I almost most of the time didn't even know how much you were drinking because I just turned it off and didn't pay attention to it. So it wasn't like when I brought my list of like, these things need to change, I think they kind of all underlined, like, the drinking was all the underlying part to it, but I didn't really realize it. And so if it would have continued and we got to the end, I wouldn't be like, well, you drank too much, and so I'm done with you because you drink too much. It still would have been, I'm done with you because you don't pay any attention to me. You don't want to spend any time with me.
I can tell you right now, if I kept drinking like I was.
You'd been drinking like that for a while.
If I had kept drinking like that, I either would be dead in a year or nothing would have got worse. Nothing would have got better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, to bring it back in is, I'm not saying, again, that was my decision and what I thought. I know our marriage enough that
It
that
worked.
was what we needed, was basically I had to give you an ultimatum.
Well, and I always told you, you don't threaten me
No.
because I will call your bluff.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said that, I knew you were serious
Yeah.
because that was one of the things we talked about before we even got married.
Yeah.
Was we don't if you threaten me that you're going to leave, I will pack your damn bags.
Well, and that's
for
the,
you.
That was the I think the part that was good about it and why it worked was because anytime we've talked about like getting a divorce or separating or whatever, it's always like when we're in the middle of a huge fight and I just throw it in there. I'm done, and then it's like
That's
it would
my-
go off the rails.
That's my first thing when you say you're done is I'll pack your
Yep,
shit
that's
right
like
now.
Charles's trigger. If he hears that, it just gets worse. So I didn't bring this up when we were mad at all. I chose to bring it up at a time that like we were fine. That's the other thing I've learned. Like, you just have to learn your marriage. Like, I have learned over the years that if I really want to bring something to Charles, 9 times out of 10, I will ask you, hey, like, I need to talk to you about something. Is now a good time, or you want me to wait till, like, you're in a different headspace? And sometimes I can also just read it and know that, like, now is not the time. So basically, I think that's what I said to you. I said, I want to talk to you about something. Like, is now a good time? And it wasn't really, like, you weren't in the best mood, but you were like, yeah, just go for it. So I did. And you just kind of sat there and were just like, no, you got mad at, you kind of started getting upset.
Yeah, that conversation turned into a fight.
No, it didn't. You started getting really heated and getting all mad and, being like, doing the whole thing, like, why, like, we're not going to get divorced, all this stuff. And I was like, I did my thing where I was like, just shut up and, like, listen to what I'm saying. Because that's exactly what happened. You took it as I was saying, I'm planning to leave you in a year. I'm giving you a year, basically, but in a year I'm leaving. And I said, I'm not saying that. That's not the outcome I want. I want to stay together, but I want things to change and I need things to change. So let's work on it so I don't have to do that. And then you were like, oh, okay. And then it was all good. Anyways, so yeah, you just gotta fight for it. You gotta figure out what works and doesn't work. And it can't just be for you. You know what I mean? Like, it has to work for both people. Anyways,
I love you.
I love you so
I'm
much.
glad I quit drinking like that.
Me too.
Because, yeah, I think if things keep going this way, we're going to stay married.
That is the hope. And this is not to say either that things are perfect. Clearly, we just said we didn't have today was not a good day.
Well, it turned into an all right day.
Tonight was fine.
From
but
about
today-
6 to now was a good day.
Yeah. We are never claiming to be perfect.
Yeah. And if you guys if there's anybody that says their marriage is perfect, you're full of shit.
Yeah. So, again, please follow us on Instagram at marriage_anonymous_. Give us your funny stories. Give us your questions. It's a simple form. You just click the link in the bio and you type out your whatever question,
and
story.
did she say it was anonymous?
Yes.
Yeah, it's anonymous.
It
so.
says right in the document. We won't even know when it submits. No idea.
Yeah, we've already tried it. It's anonymous.
So
There's been test runs.
please, if you want to just keep getting random weird episodes like this is what it's going to be until
Yeah.
we can get some questions.
And we know some of this is hard to listen to. We'll figure it out. We'll get a format down.
So, yeah, just keep listening to the podcast. Tell your friends, share it, rate us, review us.
Give us your money.
We know that things are going to be slow, but don't be shy. And I hope, again, that you know that this podcast is us basically just discussing live.
We're just
And
chatting.
We're not trying to tell anybody how they should do anything. It's just our opinions and our thoughts.
And you know what they say about opinions.
Everybody has one.
Yep. And they all stink.
So, yeah.
They're
Okay.
like buttholes. They're like buttholes.
Yep.
All right. Love you
Alright.
guys.
As a friend.
Yep. Later.
Yeah.